As a business owner, time is money. And even though, you might be thinking to yourself, well, I have the time, I don't need the master sheet, or I don't need my own system, right? Again, this isn't about the master sheet, create your own system. It is crucial to your success because you might spend an extra hour per day because you don't have a system in place or a master sheet in place. And that's 7 hours per week that you could have spent on growing and building your business instead of doing things inefficiently. So what's going on, everybody? Steve here, back to you with another episode of the E2A Flippers podcast. Now, I'm actually recording this video in my garage right now. And if you want to be able to see the visuals of this podcast, be sure to go over to my YouTube channel at Rake and Profit and subscribe. You could always listen to this, of course, on iTunes or any of your favorite podcast players. What I wanted to discuss in this video is the importance of making sure if you have a team, and I have two virtual assistants who source for me. I have a virtual assistant who fixes high pricing errors, stranded inventory, and some other back-end stuff. And then I have a virtual assistant who helps me to reprice all of my inventory. And also they do a couple other odd-end jobs as well. But one of the tasks that you want to make sure that you do as a business owner, if you're flipping items from eBay to Amazon, I'm actually on my computer right now, is what you want to do is you always want to check in on your master sheet every single day to check what your team has been purchasing. One of the biggest mistakes that will hurt you, it'll hurt your profits, it'll hurt your sell-through rate, it'll crush your business. And I've made this mistake before where my business has suffered for weeks, sometimes a couple months, because I disconnected and I wasn't paying attention to the details. So if you're like me and you have or you give your virtual assistants full control to purchase and pay for the items, you're going to want to make sure that you're checking in every day to see what they're purchasing, but also to give feedback. So I'm actually logged in right now to my eBay to Amazon master sheet. And for anybody who is a part of the eBay to Amazon masterclass, or you've been following me for any length of time, you know that I built my own custom software. It's called the E2A Master Sheet. And essentially what it does is it connects to my eBay buyer account. And every single time I purchase an item from eBay, it pulls all the data over to the master sheet, the title, the quantity, the condition, how much we paid for the item. It automatically pulls the tracking number. It also tracks the status. Was it shipped? Was it delivered? Is it purchased? Has it not been shipped yet? What's the status if you have a prep center? Is it in planned inventory, received, shipped? Also, we have a place for who sourced the item, the minimum price we're going to price it, the max, the ROI, the profit, the ASIN. There's a bunch of data that's inside of this eBay to Amazon master sheet. And the whole purpose of this video isn't to pitch you on the master sheet. If you do want to check it out, I'll put a link down below. But the whole purpose of this video is you should have a way that you're keeping your team accountable. So even if you don't use the master sheet, you should have your own sheet, right? A Google sheet where you track everything that your team purchased. And what you need to do is you need to go through each and every day and double check things. And just before this video, I was going through and I was looking at what my team purchased. So I'm going to actually go through right now and check out a purchase. So what I always like to do is I like to see what my team purchased, and I'll click into the actual eBay link to the item they purchased. And that's one of the great things about the E2A master sheet. It pulls in the purchases and gives you a one-click link right to the actual item. So I could see right here, and I know, if you're watching on YouTube or listening, you're not going to be able to see this, but I'm on my computer and I'm looking at this item, and I can see right now that we purchased this electronic item. It was brand new, one quantity, and we paid $50.85. And my team wants to list it at $95.72. So I can see who purchased it. Okay, so I can see that Jane on my team purchased this item. I can see that based on our minimum price of listing it for $95.72, our profit margin is going to be, or our return on investment is going to be 42.79%. We're going to make a $21 profit. Okay, so that all looks good. But what I want to do is I want to click into the eBay listing, and I want to make sure that this item is actually new. And regardless if it's new or used, you want to check the condition, because one of the biggest mistakes you can make when you're buying from eBay to flip on Amazon is buying items that are defective. It could be counterfeit, it could be broken, it could be damaged, it could be the wrong item. And that's why, it's so important to make sure you match up your eBay item with the ASIN. Okay, so I'm looking at this item. The condition looks good. So that all looks good. Typically, we want at least a minimum of a 40% ROI. That's one of the new rules that I've put forth. So that's all good. That's a 43% margin. Now, if I click through on my master sheet, I can see all the information. This item's actually getting shipped to my house. So one of the great things about the master sheet, if you're like me and you're shipping items to your house, but also using a prep center, the master sheet will let you know where it's getting shipped to. So when you go to checkout on eBay, you might have multiple, shipping locations. So for example, I live in Connecticut, my prep center's in a different state. So it'll actually track that for me. So I can see that. And I can see that the eBay seller has already shipped it because the master sheet integrates with UPS, USPS, and FedEx. So I can see it shipped. So this is a good buy. Okay. So then I'm just going to go to the next item. All right. So here we have a computer item that we purchased for $102 and we're going to sell it for $200. And another thing I forgot to mention, you want to click into the ASIN of the item and you want to go take a look at the Amazon listing. So I use a tool called SellerAmp, so that will pop up on the screen. And what I like to do is click orders and see if I've sold this before. This item right here, we sold it for 4 weeks ago for $200. So my team, they're trained to replenish inventory, every single day or look for items that we've sold out of. So this is great. So we sold this 4 weeks ago for $200. We just picked it up for $100. The eBay listing, I just clicked into it, looks great, brand new. We paid $102.94. So if we do sell it for $200, that's a 50.78%. So almost a 51% return on investment. That's a $24 profit. And I mean, this is fantastic. I just want to share with you a couple examples. That's why the E2A master sheet is so powerful, because it reconciles everything. It puts it all in one place. And as a business owner, time is money. And even though, you might be thinking to yourself, well, I have the time, I don't need the master sheet or I don't need my own system, right? Again, this isn't about the master sheet. Create your own system. It is crucial to your success, because you might spend an extra hour per day because you don't have a system in place or a master sheet in place. And that's 7 hours per week that you could have spent on growing and building your business instead of doing things inefficiently. Make sure every single day, if you have virtual assistants, that you're double checking everything they purchased. Make sure that the prices that they're putting for what they think they're going to list it for, the minimum, the maximum price, that it matches up by clicking into the ASIN, checking, doing your research really quick. It takes me 10 seconds just to check the buy box or hit the order button on SellerAmp to see if I've sold it before previously. And I like to check the condition of the eBay item, okay, because we're buying from eBay and flipping on Amazon FBA. And then I like to take a look at the ROI and the profit. I'll talk more about this in another video, but every single day before my virtual assistants, clock out, they have to make sure to fill in any of the information that the master sheet doesn't automatically pull in. So the master sheet doesn't automatically pull in the ASIN or the min, max price, ROI, and profit, so on and so forth. It'll pull in everything else, but it's your virtual assistant's job, if you train them correctly, to make sure to reconcile everything, to keep it organized for you as a business owner. So just wanted to share one of the tasks that I do. This typically takes me 15 to 20 minutes per day. Okay. So maybe 2 to 3 hours per week, sometimes less, just to, double check the purchases. And one final tip I'll leave you with is, when you're going through the process of checking things, if you notice an issue with the condition, or maybe it could be counterfeit, or maybe they're thinking they're going to list it at a certain price, but it's overly inflated and it's maybe something that you don't agree with, get yourself Loom. It's a $10 a month Chrome extension. It'll do a screen share, and just have your screen share playing and turn it on and just give your feedback. And this is how you build a badass virtual assistant team. You slowly but surely train them, and you course correct them, and you give them tips and feedback. And that's how you build a system that, like for me and my, I'm just being straightforward. Like, I don't spend a ton of time, 5 to 10 hours a week. And I've done over 600,000. I netted over 100,000 profit, well over that. And I'm not spending a ton of time because the systems do the work, but it took a lot of time and money and training, and just want to share one of the habits that I do. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys. Much love. If you want to check out the E2A master sheet, if you're flipping from eBay to Amazon, if you're not doing eBay to Amazon, it's not going to be useful for you. But if you're doing eBay to Amazon and you're spending a ton of time reconciling and running around like a chicken with their head chopped off, you don't know if your items are delivered or shipped, or all the stuff I talked about, check it out. I've got a free trial that you can check out down below. And just want to say thank you to everybody listening to the podcast, watching on YouTube. Show some love, hit that like button, leave a positive feedback on Apple or iTunes if you can. And just want to say I appreciate you all. Thank you. Bye.